Hey, what's up, guys? Today I want to talk about labyrinth and the jackpot. And this is because, I made a video about going basically about what kind of packs you should buy if you want to be a low spender, or what we call light pay to play in Lords Mobile. And some of the suggestion, we're talking about packs with only stars, because you have a chance of getting the jackpot from labyrinth. And yes, of course you have a chance. Every time you get to the end of the labyrinth and you get against the gremlin, you have a chance. It's not a great chance. It's a very, very low chance. And the discussion I had with that viewer was highlighting the fact that I have 5 accounts with between 2 and 4 years of gameplay, and I've never hit the jackpot on any of my accounts. So I kind of decided to calculate, it's a very rough estimate, but to calculate how many stars did I use with my 5 accounts over the last 4 years, and see basically what's the status. How many stars? Basically, how many stars can you use and still not get a guarantee that you're gonna hit the jackpot? So obviously, I do have my 4 accounts on, and as you can see, they all have a different amount of holy stars. I'm not gonna use those stars in the video. I'm saving them for next week's event, even though I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference. It's mostly for any of the solo rewards that I can get. I don't think I'm gonna get a lot, maybe like the first 2 or 3, but anyway, that's why I'm saving them. But I just wanted to showcase how I play those 4 accounts. So basically, yeah, let's get this back, and what I want to show you guys is the analysis that I've made. So let's look this up. So first of all, I gotta determine, so there's the 5 accounts. So 2 Langer, 3 Langer, Langer 4, Langer 5, and Langer 1. Langer 1's my pay-to-play account, very light. I have the Elite Labyrinth unlocked, but for the sake of this analysis, I am gonna assume that every time I hit, it is the equivalent of 100 stars, even though, because at the end of the day, it's not how many stars you use, it's basically how many times you get to the end of the labyrinth. So basically from that you can encounter the boss, and then you need to defeat it, and that's where you hit the jackpot. So basically, the first thing we need to determine is how many years do I have the lab unlocked. So obviously it takes about, I think it takes about like 3 weeks, let's say, give or take, depending on how active you are, to unlock skirmish number 8. It really depends on what you do with your troops and all that stuff, but let's say it takes 3 weeks. So on a 4-year-old account, 3 weeks is nothing. So basically for 2 Langers, 3.5 years, 3 Langers, 3 years, Langer 4 is 2.5, Langer 5 is 2, and Langer 1 is 4. So as you can see, about 6 months in between each account. Now, the next thing I want to highlight is basically how many years have I played with a max trick star. Because once you unlock trick star, first of all, you got to get pack 3, which I think it takes about between 4 and 6 months. It really depends on how you play, and then obviously you need to max it out. So I've been very, very conservative with this, and I said it takes about a year, or it took me a year to max trick star on all accounts. So basically, since 2 Langer is 3.5 years, well, it's 2.5 years with max trick star. So and then 2 years for 3 Langer, and so on and so on. So those are basically the timestamp for this calculation. Now let's move on to how, not those are ways that I get stars, but let's move to how many stars I get with the different ways. So the next up is passive star. So basically every day you have a free hit in the labyrinth. So basically the rule for that is very simple. It's 365 days and you get 100 holy stars basically per hit, and then you times that by the time that the number of years that I've had the lab unlocked. So on all accounts, it's ranging from 73,000 holy stars free all the way to 146, which basically the difference between 2 and 4 years of gameplay. And like I said, even though on Langer 1 I have the elite labyrinth unlocked for this analysis, I'm gonna assume it's the equivalent of a regular hit. Now, moving on, the next way that we get basically hits or holy stars, it's with the trick star skill. Now, what I assume, and it's once again very conservative. So every time, once you have the max skill, you get 3 times. Well, you can get up to 3. Well, I'm sorry, you get 3 holy star item. It can be as low as 100, can be 1,000 or 10,000. So the max is 30,000, and you get that. You can hit that skill every 2 days, and the lowest is basically 300. I have been very conservative, and I said on average every 2 days I get 3,000 holy stars from that. That's on the low end, but that's assuming that I hit that skill every time it's off cooldown. So obviously sometimes I forget and it runs over to the next day. But for the sake of this, let's say I do on average 1,500 holy stars per day. So this is the highest. This is where you're gonna get most of your holy stars. And I know some people are gonna think about something else, and I'm gonna address that. Maybe you do get more stars from the other thing that I'm gonna talk later. But for myself, it's trick star where I get the most stars. So onto WoW. So it ranges from it's based on the max when I got the max trick star. So basically on Langer 5 it's only been 1 year, so about 500,000, and on Langer 1 it's 3 years, so 1.6 million. So this adds up to a lot of stars. Now let's move on to another method of getting holy stars, and it's kind of miscellaneous, so you can get from monster hunting, and basically guys, you don't get a lot. I went over the reports of the last, I think 4 or 5 days on all 5 accounts, and I think I got like 2,000 over all 5 accounts over the last 4 or 5 days. Maybe I was unlucky, I don't know. It's not a lot. You get some from daily login, or rather the login gifts, which I think you get like 500 every 3 weeks. So that's not a lot. And then you can get some from Guildfest. I think there are other methods. Yeah, the gifts galore, you get some, but it's like it's never guaranteed. So I said, well, from these methods I get about 3,000 every 3 weeks, so basically 1,000 a week, 52,000 a year. So that's why I get about 100 to 200,000 holy stars with this, not this method, but yes, from these sources. Now the last one is probably the one that you guys were thinking about. That would be the most, the one that gives the most holy star, and it's Phantom Knight. So Phantom Knight, the thing is, I used to be very active with Phantom Knights. Every time it came, I would hunt that thing down, and it was easy because I'd save my energy for that. And at that time, I would wait for the last day when everyone was out of energy, and I would wait for a reset of monsters, and then I would still wait until like the last hour when I wanted to make sure that no one knew where the Phantom Knight was, and I would find that and I would kill it. I would kill 1 or 2 between my 4 or 5 accounts, and I would get a lot of holy stars. But nowadays with the bots, where people just can find it with a snap of their fingers, snap of the bot, I lost interest in trying to kill or hunt the Phantom Knight. And also I'm saving my energy for the Astra monsters for the challenges that I'm doing. So all of that explanation just to say that for this estimate, I said I'm getting about 25,000 Holy Stars with Phantom Knight about 4 times a year. So I know Phantom Knight is there more than 4 times a year, probably. I don't recall. I haven't looked. And I know you guys probably get more Holy Star than that. But for an estimate, I said, okay, it's about 100,000 Holy Stars a year I'm getting from Phantom Knight on each account. So that's why you see between 200,000 and 400,000. And obviously, you get more stars as your account is bigger, or I should say where your monster hunt is, your gear is better, and you have like a max energy limit and all that stuff. So, but it's a very rough estimate. Maybe that's where I'm off, but for this analysis, that's where I'm at. So, what does it mean? How many stars is that total? And please, guys, if I miss something, because that's all. I'm not gonna look for other sources. That's it. But if I miss some, please write it down below, and I may adjust in the comments. I may pin that in the comments. So here's the total stars that I've used on my 5 accounts. 8.3 million Holy Stars. That's a lot. That's a lot. And that means at basically 100 each. So that means that I hit that thing 83,000 times. Now at 10 hit, and then obviously you get some free ones like the I don't recall what it's called, but the Holy something. No, it's not Holy Star. The blessing. Whenever you hit the blessing, you get some free hits. But that means that 83,000 times plus the blessing. Let's say the blessing is about 10%. So let's say it's 90,000 times. So that means at 10 hit to get to the end, that means I reach the end of the labyrinth 9,000 times. So I don't know what is the average. Probably, let's say it's 1 in 10. Let's say 1 in 10 you fight against the gremlin. So that means that I fought against 900 gremlin and I never got the jackpot. That's it. That's it. So there's no guarantee, guys. It's all luck, obviously, but obviously the more that you play, the best, not the best are your chance every time you hit, but the more chance you have to get to the point where you get a jackpot. Yeah, that's about it. Hopefully, if I ever win the jackpot, it's not going to be like a 15,000 or 20,000 or 50,000. Hopefully, since I'm free to play, it's a normal jackpot. So hopefully it's something, hopefully it's above 300,000. But I hope I get there. And if I get it on my main, obviously, I hope it's a good one, like a 10 million. But we'll never know. And one thing though is with the new auto use feature, there's a chance that I got a bad jackpot and I never noticed, but I would have seen it in the chat. People would have roasted me or congratulated me, and it's never happened. So there you go, guys. 8 million Holy Star use and no jackpot. So, alright guys, thanks for watching and see you later.